Hey everybody, it's Ebony and I'm here to share a vlog from a recent trip I took to Charleston, South Carolina. I'm going to start out by showing some of the pictures from the Airbnb that we stayed at because I forgot to film when I got there. I don't vlog all the trips that I take, but whenever there are trips that have like something to do with like architecture or home decor, interior design, cool stuff like that, I like to vlog them for my memory and just because I figure some of you all on the channel may be interested as well. The first night was kind of a buzz, so this footage starts on our first full day in Charleston. We are headed to the Charleston Visitor Center so that we can meet our guide to take our walking tour, but we got there a little bit early so we had some time to look around in there, and this was a really beautiful place. So now that we are inside the Visitor Center, I'm going to kind of scroll you around so you can see what it looks like in there. This place used to be a train station, I believe. I hope I didn't just make that up. I'm pretty sure they told us it used to be a train station. You can kind of tell from the way that it's set up, but they have this beautiful mural on the floor of the whole city of Charleston. And then they have this area behind the glass where you can go like get pamphlets and information, and it has like a visitor's desk. I thought the way that their houses are built is really cool. They build their houses up instead of out, so the more floors that their house has, the more affluent that they are. So as a poorer person might start out with like a one-level kind of shotgun house, you can continue to stack layers on top as you get more money. We started out our walking tour by admiring this gate, and it's right outside the visitor center, and it was done by a famous black ironworker named Philip Simmons. His signature is that he was able to make these really tight curls, and nobody else has ever been able to replicate them. He started as an apprentice at age 13 and he lived to be almost 100, so he worked about 8 decades, and his work is all around Charleston. I'm just kind of showing you what the houses look like because I love looking at people's houses. If you got your blinds open, I'm looking in. So our next stop was the Aiken Red House. This house is now a museum, but it was owned by generations and generations upon generations of one wealthy family. And if you look closely, you can tell that this was a slave plantation. So it doesn't have the look of what we typically think of when we think of plantation, but look at toward the back of the structure where that concrete is, and everything is kind of cemented in, of course, so that the slaves would not escape. And you can kind of see the makings of a plantation here. Here is a closer up image of the slave quarters. Right on the other side of the visitor center is where the slave trade used to take place. So this and all the other sites on the walking tour were really close to that. So it's just kind of an eerie feeling to know what happened in this area. Next up was this church, which was built in 1875, and it is most prominent because of its Gothic revival architecture. I find that odd because this building should technically be stuccoed over the bricks. So really, even though it's known for the way it looks, it is an unfinished building. And this was a prominent place for African Americans both before and during the Civil Rights Movement. This house was pointed out on the tour because it was owned by a freed rich black man who was also a barber, and he was a member of the Brown Fellowship Society, which I found ironic because it was a group that was supposed to be for black people, but it only helped fair-skinned black people who are also known as mulattoes. So it was like a mutual aid place where they would assist with like money that you needed or burials if you couldn't afford to bury your lost loved one. And this is a beautiful building, but unfortunately its history has been tainted because this is the building where a mass shooting of 9 church members was done by Dylann Roof. Dylann was a white supremacist and he shot this place up because of its richness in black history. Even Dr. Martin Luther King has given a sermon at this church, so it's very prominent and historical, both for its looks and for its historical presence in the African American community. What we're looking at now is the memorial that was erected for the 9 people who lost their lives in this church. As we continued to walk, I saw this building and I thought it was drop dead gorgeous, so I took a picture and just look at the doors, the pillars, all that detail. I just love stuff like this. I love the architecture here. Even the fireplace is pretty. Check this building out. After all that walking, we decided to do brunch at the Iron Rose. As you can see, it is a really beautiful building. The food is gonna look pretty. I'm gonna show you some pictures of it, but in actuality, it looked much better than it tasted. It wasn't that great. Here is the building that the Iron Rose is in. We did not know that this was a significant place, but we're gonna get back to that a little bit later in the video. After we ate, we went to the Charleston City Market, which is like an indoor-outdoor flea market vendor booth kind of setup, and it was really cool. This place had everything from like traditional woven baskets that early Charleston residents would make to Christmas decorations to dog treats. I didn't really buy too much, so I didn't really have a haul to show. I just think I bought some dog treats and a dog collar. But yeah, it was really cool to be able to experience this place. I don't know why, but I didn't expect to see horse-drawn carriages, so I thought those were pretty cool. Sorry if the footage is a little shaky, but y'all know I only vlog sometimes. If you haven't ever seen one of my vlogs, I vlogged my trip to Egypt. I vlogged another trip. I can't remember where it was to, but just check out my vlogs playlist, which I will also put this video in as well. When we left this market, we went back to our Airbnb to relax, and then later that night, we came back to downtown Charleston to do the ghost tour. So here is our tour guide taking us to our first stop on the tour. The first stop on the tour was St. Philip's Church, which has a spooky history. I guess it says that most of the spirits there are still alive, and one had been photographed by a photographer who was there just taking random pictures. Apparently, when he went to get them developed, a lady was there mourning over the grave of her deceased baby. Close to that church was this house, which somebody lives in today, and it was said to have had a tunnel underneath it, which led out to a dock, which the pirate Blackbeard used to escape capture. Next stop was the Powder Museum, and this is the oldest public building in South Carolina. It was founded in 1713 as a place to store all of the gunpowder. So of course, with all the bloodshed that happened during the numerous wars that have happened since this building was erected, of course they say that it is a haunted place as well. This place is a museum now. Next stop was the Nicholas Trot House, which was erected in 1709 and was the first brick house in Charleston. It was owned by an attorney general. And here's the tour guide to tell you a little bit of what's going on.
Folks, 1709 is the date on this home. It is the oldest brick home in the city of Charleston. It's on the National Historical Register of Historical Homes in the United States. And it's the judge's home. Now the judge has just basically signed that death warrant. He might as well have signed that death warrant with his own blood. Because when he signed that piece of paper, well, he intertwined the two properties that you see before you for hundreds of years into the future. The actions of one man cursed this home. What is going on inside this home? Pots and pans coming out of cupboards, doorknobs rotating back and forth, candles being lit when no human has lit them, footsteps being heard on the hardwood. Folks, this is the oldest graveyard in the city of Charleston behind me. Don't worry, you're all going to give us a chance to take a peek and take some pictures. 1681 is the date on this graveyard. When I bring my guests here, I explain to you what would happen to you if you died before there were funeral homes. Because how the dead are treated today is much different versus a couple hundred years ago. In 1755, you've just died. The first person that gets notified is the coffin in the living room, because that was tradition. They're going to put candles around the coffin, flowers. Basically, everything that happens in a funeral home today originally happened in people's living rooms.
We came back around to this building, and like I said before, we did not know, but it is of historical significance. In 1861, there was a huge fire in Charleston, and fun fact, Robert E. Lee was on premises, but he was able to escape. But there was a huge fire that started a few blocks over, so even though this place is right across the street from the fire station, since the fire had not started over here, all the crews were busy trying to contain the fire from its original source. So this building was very badly affected by the fire, and so some of the souls of the people who were not able to escape are thought to still be inhabiting the building. Due to old age and the damage from the fire, this building was eventually torn down and rebuilt as an exact replica with the addition of 2 floors. So many naysayers to the ghost stories say it's not possible that any spirits are here because the bodies that died here died in the original building and not in this rebuilt replica. But as you can see, this is a very beautiful building, and now people hold like receptions and job parties and stuff like that here. Here was the last stop on the ghost tour where a couple were thought to have been hung from this tree. People were paying attention to that story, but I was not, so I can't give you much more detail because I was admiring this beautiful building right next to it. So here's a shot of what that looks like. Y'all, I just love old buildings, so thumbs up the video and or leave me a comment and let me know if you love old buildings too. Are you enjoying this vlog? Do you like this type of video? Let me know. If I'm remembering correctly, this is a courthouse. Look at how beautiful this building is. It has freaking marble, ironwork, gold, just to frame out a one window. So I just really like this kind of stuff. And I love the wood and glass doorways that are in all these old buildings as well. Here's the side of that building. Like, look at those arched windows. I just love this. After the ghost tour, we went to Fig. And to be honest, food here was not that great either. I can't remember what the name of the place we are on the way to is, but it was like a restaurant with like an indoor-outdoor type of area, and it had like a little vendor market and some food trucks going on in the back. So we went to that. It's just something that I found on Google. And I was really glad we went because we finally found some delicious food. I'm from the South and I love Southern food, so whenever I go to these Southern cities, I'm always ready to get my hands on some good food, but sometimes it's just hit or miss. But that food was amazing. I forgot the name of the food truck, but it was really good. So here's kind of some scenery from the little market that they had in the back. They had all kind of stuff out here, from candles to jewelry to body butters to dog treats, all kind of different things. So it was a really nice market. I didn't buy anything. Again, I've been really being selective about the things that I'm purchasing because my house is currently exploding. So I just been trying not to bring too many things home. But oh yeah, I did. I got 1 bag of dog treats from this place. But other than that, I didn't buy anything really to bring back home from Charleston. They had some beautiful murals around this place, so here I am in the hot air balloon mural, but if you want to see me in an actual hot air balloon, you can check out my Egypt trip vlog. So now we've gotten back to downtown area, and we have no idea where we're going, but we saw water, so we just kind of started to navigate toward the water. So here we are kind of just wandering toward that. So here is Waterfront Park, which as you can see is an absolutely beautiful place. I'm not 100% sure what this is used for, if it's just kind of an open park area to visit. I saw a big pimping yacht chilling over here on the dock, so I'm not sure exactly what goes on here, but if you're from Charleston or if you know, leave a comment and let us know. There's this really pretty water feature that looks like a pineapple, so we decided to stop and take a few selfies. But we didn't really get to explore that much because we had to get to this show that we booked at the Queen Street Theater. The show was called Cadillac Crew, and it was basically about a group of freedom riders. And here's what the inside of the historic theater looked like. So as we were leaving that show, this was right next door, and this house was just so gorgeous. And I started to wonder about the people who might live here, and then they came outside on their balcony, so you can kind of see them there tending to their flowers. Just look at the courtyard. This house is super nice. Like I said before, if your blinds are open, I'm going to look in. So luckily they had their blinds closed. But aside from looking at the architecture of people's houses, I also look up the value. And let's just say these people are far from poor. Here are some of the waterfront properties. Just look at these houses, y'all. At this state, I'm in an architectural daze, and I'm just wandering around looking at all these houses and trying to see inside, but of course the blinds was closed, so I couldn't, and I didn't know it, but I had stumbled upon the famous Rainbow Row. So here are some images of that series of houses, and it's just known because of the architecture and because of the colorful nature of the houses. If I could just get 2 million of y'all to subscribe to this channel, I could afford a house like this, and I would give y'all room tours every day because I would never run out of rooms for you to tour. And once I decorated one, I would take everything out and redecorate it and give you unlimited room tours. So if you like room tours, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Clearly I'm half joking, but I'm not joking about you subscribing to my channel, so make sure you do that if you have not already. My little pups are so cute. They deserve a rich people dog park. We're tired of the one that we currently go to. We want to go to this one. So subscribe. After I came out of my daze, I was hungry, and so we wandered around and we found this place called Hyman's, and that's where we decided to eat. We had a little bit of a wait, so while we were waiting, the two ladies that I were with started talking to a gentleman, and he was really pleased that they were service members. I don't know if it was because they were female or why he was so intrigued by that, but he offered to pay for all of our entire meals for free, so the food just tasted that much better because it was free. So thank you to everybody who is past or present military. The rest of the trip was kind of R&R. I always like to schedule time just to relax, downtime to actually vacate while I'm on vacation. So we did that, and then it was time to go home, but we had a really fun weekend in Charleston. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you have the time, please select another one of my videos to watch from the choices on your screen or in the description box below, and I will see you all in my next video, which will be a furniture flip.